Hey everybody, welcome to the Cases Never Closed podcast. If you are new, hello, welcome. I am Keisha, the creator of this channel. And if you're new, please feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you get a notification anytime that I post or upload a video. So, before I get into the video, there's just one thing that I want to say real quick. I have restarted this video 5 times. And that is because I live with a 2-year-old who likes to hit things on his tablet that takes him to a totally different page that's not YouTube, so he needs me to fix it. With that being said, I am not restarting this video again. It's driving me crazy, but this is the only time that I'm actually home by myself, other than with the baby. And if I have to stop to help the baby, I'm so sorry, but it's just gonna have to do for right now. So, before I get into the video, there's just a few things I want to touch base with you on. And that is because I feel that I have been MIA since I posted the first video. And the reason for that is because, as I said in the first video, I am in college. And with me being in college, I did not expect college to be as complicated as it is. Maybe that's because I literally only had academics my first semester, but it's been a lot. They also have me in history. I am so bad with history, so I've been just focusing a lot on that. Also, everyone knows that for me personally, school and my family come first. They have always come first. That's how it's been since I was in kindergarten. And because of that, my mom has been sick the last 2 weeks. So I have stepped up more than I already have to help not only take care of her, but also help more to take care of the baby. And because she has been sick, obviously, that takes a toll on everybody. It took a toll on me mentally, because my mom and I are really close, and seeing her in pain is something that I can't stand, and it's always something that I wish I could trade places with her for. And because of that, I have really just stepped back from everything to focus on my mom and take care of her and do whatever she needs me to do. But she is starting to get better, so I should start to, get more on track again, other than college. And hopefully I can stay on posting once a week, like I already said. But obviously, whatever I did to Mother Nature or whatever, they don't like me, especially right now. And they are throwing a bunch of different curveballs at me and dealing with it the best I can. So, with that, for today's video, it is something that I literally just jumped on Google and searched up like unsolved cases or whatever, and it popped up. And I was like, the first one, just doing that. So with that being said, please, please, please feel free to go in the comments and give me video ideas. I don't care what it's about. I just need video or ideas. And as always, it can be about a solved or unsolved case. A case that just doesn't sit right with you. It could be about a haunted or like abandoned place. It could really just be about any case that you guys have been not like attracted to, but really focused on lately. And with that, as always, I get the Idaho murder case requests all the time. But with that case, that is something that I feel that I need to mentally prepare myself for. And the reason for that is obviously I'm a college student myself. So when I go on like Facebook or Instagram or Google or whatever, and the first thing I see is a bunch of different articles about students at different campuses getting murdered, it is something that really just takes a toll on me personally. Tyson! So, give me ideas. I will get to everyone's idea when I can. And then the next like question or whatever is that with me not only being a new YouTuber, but also not really having enough time in the day to get to everything, I do not edit my videos. I record them and post them. That's it. And with that, my question to you guys is, because I don't like edit my videos or anything, I do not add pictures or anything into my videos. So I had the idea of doing like a slideshow presentation type thing for you guys. And I wanted to know if you guys thought it would be better for me to do a slideshow, or if you guys like how it is now. And with that, I think the next video that I do, I'm going to have be like a slideshow presentation type thing, and you guys can decide if that's what you want me to do from like now on, or if you like the face-to-face or face to screen or whatever. So now to actually get into today's video. So as I already said, this is something that I literally just went to Google, searched up, and clicked the first one that popped up. So today's case is on Little Miss Nobody. It's kind of like the case from the very first video, but different in its own way. So a little background. On July 31st, 1960, the body of a little girl was found in Congress, Arizona. Hand it to me. And then on March 15th, 2022, almost 62 years later, the police announced that they had an identification of the body that was found. On July 31st, 1960, a Las Vegas teacher Russell Allen, discovered the partially buried remains in Sandwash Creek Bed in Congress, Arizona. There were 2 sets of fingerprints found at the crime scene, one adult and one child. There was also recovered from the crime scene a rusted, bloody pocket knife near the body, which was sent to the lab. The forensic pathologist did an autopsy, and they told the investigators that the autopsy had determined the age of the body to be between 5 and 7 years old, and the height to be 3 foot 6 inches to 4 feet 5 inches, and weight to be 50 to 60 pounds. Because of the decomposition of the body, it had showed that the little girl had to have been dead for 1 to 2 weeks prior to the discovery of her body. The actual cause of death is unknown, but they did rule it a homicide. And the contemporary report states that the remains were charred, and due to the remains being charred and the advanced decomposition, creating a drawing of the little girl was difficult. And because it was difficult, it wasn't possible to do a drawing at all. So then on July 31st or 21st, 1960, at 3 p.m., a little girl by the name of Sharon Lee Gallegos was kidnapped in an alley off of her home. A witness had claimed that the girl refused to go with a couple, and when she had refused to go with the couple, the female dragged the little girl by her arm into a dirty old green car. That was the only description of the car that the investigators were given from a little girl who had witnessed what happened. Within an hour of the report, police had set up roadblocks at Texas-New Mexico state border in hopes of catching the couple and the old dirty green car. That tactic did end up failing, and there was no success. They had ended up going in to trying to figure out what the motive could have been for the couple who had kidnapped Sharon. And obviously, when a case has to do with a little kid versus an adult, there are a lot of different factors that go into a case dealing with a child. And the one thing that the police had looked into was any information of previous stalking that may have indicated that the child was the target. And with that, they ended up having an 11-year-old witness by the name of Dolores Badial, who had told investigators she was adamant that she observed the same vehicle the child was dragged into parked outside of the Gallegos household. When the investigators were told this, they ended up starting to look for anyone else who had witnessed the same thing. When they had, released this information, a friend and neighbor known as Helen Gonzalez told investigators that she had seen the same exact vehicle parked at the site of the abduction that previous Sunday. So now that they, have been told this, the investigators' main looking point was to find this car and hope that with finding this car, they can figure out what happened to Sharon. So, for the initial investigation, the police had questioned individuals who were previously convicted of offenses that had involved children. And they had hoped that by looking into people who had, prior convictions dealing with children, it would give them some type of insight on what may have happened. They ended up receiving dozens of letters, calls, and telegrams that they had received, and each letter, call, and telegram that they received, they did look into and investigate as a possible lead into what happened. They had eyewitness confirmation of a family walking near the abduction site on the day of the abduction with two young girls, one who was wearing the same outfit as the victim. That family was questioned and they were released on verification of their alibis. There was a funeral. It was held August 10th, 1960 at the Mountain View Cemetery. Prior to the funeral, the little girl had received the name Little Miss Nobody. And the funeral services were held at the Congregational Church in Prescott, Arizona. It was officiated by Dr. Charles Franklin Parker, and over 70 people had attended. Then, they ended up having an inscribe on the headstone with the quote, "Blessed are pure in heart." That is from the Bible. I did not write down what scripture it was from. So, here comes the crazy part. In 2018, due to the advance in technology and the DNA technology, the body was exhumed. I don't really know what exhumed means. I have had a few people ask me what exhumed means, and I do not know. But for the next video, I will say that at the beginning of the video, whatever it is that means. They had renewed forensic examination, which determined the age to be between 3 and 6, with a height of 3 foot 6 inches. So that is what the initial forensic report had stated, except for the age. The age was 5 to 7, and then the new examination determined it to be between 3 and 6. The University of North Texas Center for Human Identification decided to pitch in and help out with investigators, and they were actually able to create a facial reconstruction. I'm so sorry, he's playing with dinosaurs. Um, so, because of that, on March 15th, 2022, the Sheriff's Office announced the identification has been made, and they identified the body as Sharon Lee Gallegos. A nephew of Sharon had informed the media, saying, "My family were amazed how the people rallied around her. Thank you for keeping my aunt safe and never forgetting her." So, now the main portion that they were looking for was who did this to her. It's been 62 years and we finally have a name for the body. So who did this to her? Who went through all this trouble to proceed with such a horrific crime? And that is, you know, the main focus for the investigators right now. Anyway, so if you guys want to, as always, feel free to look into this case by yourself. Feel free to go in the comments and say what your thoughts are about this case, what does or does not stick right with you, and let me know what case you want to hear about in the next video. So, thank you all so much for joining, and I will see you guys in the next video.